Hello, family and friends.
Hello.
This is our first video of our series called Coming to Cymru, and we are calling it that because we've accepted a missions position in Wales.
Woo!
So that's probably pretty shocking to some of you, but it's been in the process for about 2 years, so it's hard to keep up with who knows and who doesn't know, but this is video 1.
Yes. Yeah, it's been a long process. As Shelby said, it's been like 2 years that we've been going down this route for this ministry opportunity, and it's been a crazy process. Went through some training stuff, all kinds of affirmations, confirmations, and then we were pretty much told, there was no opportunity in Wales and no plan for any opportunity in Wales. And then long time passed. We got a phone call that
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, out of nowhere. Some amazing stuff happened that we can get into in a future video, but that there all of a sudden was an opportunity available exactly where we felt called to, for exactly what we wanted to do. And they even had an apartment ready for us. So just incredible stuff has happened.
Yeah.
And now we get the opportunity to move to North Wales, specifically to a town called Colwyn Bay.
Yes.
And participate in a church plant, which is really awesome. So we'll get to start a church plant there. Part of this strategy called the North Wales Network, which will be church plants that are happening, about every 25 miles in various villages connected to this this main church in a town called Llay, which is right near Wrexham, which some of you have probably seen, like Welcome to Wrexham, so over in that area. And we'll get the opportunity to do church planting and work closely with another ministry called Sanctuary Trust, which provides homeless relief. And they are doing an initiative of building coffee house ministries that will serve as a focal point for the community to encounter the gospel and help people be rehabilitated out of homelessness. So
yeah,
really,
and this isn't like a summer project. This is something we will be moving for as long as God keeps us there to Wales, and we will be staying, and we hope to be there by August at the latest.
Yes.
We're hoping July, but
yeah.
we're really hoping for August.
And yeah, it's all contingent on fundraising, visa, all the fun administrative stuff. But yeah, that's our hope, which is really exciting. And like Shelby said, this is a permanent thing. So we're not moving for a period, but we're planning to move there and participate in this, which is really cool.
Yes. So we thought a little vlog series would be a cool and personal way to keep you guys updated, probably once a month, once we get there, maybe bi-weekly, so that you guys can stay in touch and we can show you all the super cool things that we're doing. And then you can also see this amazing country, because holy cow, it's going to be so just amazing overall.
Yeah, and Shelby and I think we like video format better. We felt it's more personal too, so obviously we'll be doing a traditional newsletter, but we plan to kind of have the video at the top of the newsletter, so you have the option to watch the video or read about what's going on there. Making these videos is kind of a labor of love so that we can share the incredible work that God is doing there in an incredible country. That's deserving of people being aware of it, how awesome that place is. So I thought this would be a cool way to do that.
Yeah, and we'll put a map right here
so you can see,
because I will be honest, I've never heard of Wales. Well, yeah, I don't even know if I've heard of it before Matthew. And now it's like such a special place in our hearts, and we got to visit it in October.
Yes.
Not even for this reason.
Yeah.
But we fell in love with it, and we felt at home like pretty instantly.
Yes.
And then a few weeks later, got a phone call that they had a spot for us.
Yeah, which is incredible. And I've been in love with the country for years.
The rock in my shoe.
But yeah, Shelby, that was a sweet thing too when we went there. That was during that period where we thought it just wasn't going to happen. Went there and it just felt right. It felt like where we're supposed to be, lined up with what we believe, God is calling us to do, which is really cool. So, and then get off the plane and we get a phone call that, when we had to come back, we get a phone call that they had been trying to get a hold of us, which is really crazy to think we were just there and could have met them in person. But yeah, along with the video series and wanting to do that as a labor of love to, let people know, what Wales is and what we're doing there, what God is doing there, goes right along with one of the biggest things I think people don't know about Wales is, it's a completely separate country than England. A lot of people think it's a part of England. And because of that, it has its own native language, which is called Cymraeg. Its own native culture. It is a different place. And of course, there are some similarities in the UK to everywhere, but Cymru is the native name of Wales, and it is a very vastly different place than England or Scotland or Northern Ireland. And part of that is the language Cymraeg. So Cymraeg is the name of the language of Cymru, which is the native name for the country of Wales. And that name means like friend or compatriot, which has an exact opposite name of the meaning Wales. So Wales is an Old English word that actually means slave or foreigner. So it's really interesting if you see the external name for the country of Wales. It is one that is steeped in oppressiveness and subservience, and calling somebody a foreigner or a slave. But the native name of the country of Cymru is, means compatriot or fellow citizen or friend. So we wanted to call this vlog series and our newsletter series "Coming to Cymru" as a labor of love to, what we believe the mission is that we're being called to do there. So Wales has a history of being forced to be changed or be different or become more English or become more, British or part of the United Kingdom, and has been looked down upon and used as a resource to be drained instead of a country and people to be celebrated. Instead of a friend, it's been treated like a foreigner. So we wanted to call, our newsletter series "Coming to Cymru" because that's what we think we're doing. We're not going there, we're not leaving something, but we're coming there. We're arriving to a place that, we don't want to change, right? But we want to become a part of Cymru, be a friend to the country, and, linguistically, culturally, an expression of worship, all those kinds of things. So, and celebrate a place that deserves a long act of love, but has historically been put down, and oppressed and suppressed. So that's a big reason we want to call it that, we want to do this video series to let people know about this great place that deserves to be lifted up as a friend, and deserves friends that are looking to co-labor with Jesus to do this awesome thing.
We wanted to give a little bit of an update of how far in this process we are. So we have spoken at 2 churches so far to start fundraising and to share how just awesome the story is and how it worked out. And so the process has moved along pretty smoothly, honestly.
Yeah.
We were like, how do we even start this? And things just slowly started falling into place. We've just seen God just confirm, like, this is it. Like, you guys got this. We're going to make it happen. And so I think we mentioned earlier, finding a place to live is like the most important part of moving somewhere new. And they actually have an apartment ready for us if we can make it by July or August. That's fully furnished, which is honestly a huge blessing. Big thing off the girl brain.
Yeah, and then another huge blessing we found out about a week ago, that we received a scholarship for 50% of our needed funds for our first year to be raised that will be matched, which is really awesome. So we've got, one-time expenses to get there, all that fun administrative stuff like visas, like plane tickets, etc. And even our recurring budget that we're looking to raise, like per month, like will be matched up to $20,440, which accelerates our timeline to get there, by 50% faster, which is awesome because we're trying to get there by August to be able to take advantage of that fully furnished apartment. So huge blessing in a time where we didn't know what to do about fundraising that quickly. So, we're in the process of raising our budget, and that's what Shelby said. Like, we've got an opportunity to talk at 2 churches, and we're hoping to get the opportunity to talk at some more. We're trying to raise pretty much our first year's salary, and we're able to raise that, through one-time gifts or recurring. And recurring is really what we're trying to do for a couple different reasons. If we were able to raise recurring monthly support, that will help us leave faster, and our timetable won't get to be there. It's also more sustainable. So we're looking for that right now and trying to fundraise that. So so we need $10,000, around about $10,000 in one-time fees. That covers things like the plane ticket, the visa, travel to and from the field, that kind of stuff. And then we need around about 2,900 American dollars per month as kind of a minimum baseline that we can raise to get to actually go there. And that 50% scholarship will be a part of that. So, we're asking if people feel God moving on their heart for this place and for what God is doing there, for what we get to participate in, if they're willing to do that. We have like our official link up for giving, and we'll attach that at the bottom of this.
And apart from the financial aspect, we are definitely asking for so much prayer. This is like a huge step that we are taking. So we ask for prayer for calm hearts. We ask for prayer and just getting us there, and that it works out really well. And if you have a church that you're a part of that has a heart for missions and sending, we would love to come speak at it. We would love to share more of our story.
And I think like, you know, no gift is better than another one. Like it's really, if we're honest, like it's so awkward to ask for money. Like it's just weird. You know, but really it, you know, it's an invitation to get to participate in this great work, and one that like, we don't want to force people to make. We want people, if you feel like that's something you want to do, but praying is just as valuable, you know, or if, even just inviting us to your church or small group, any of those things are just so helpful, you know, and not one is better than the other. So we're so grateful for supportive friends and family already, and grateful for your prayers and any financial contribution or spiritual or even invitations to, you know, spaces. So we are trying to raise that budget to be able to be there and to do this great thing. But the biggest reason we want to make this video is just to kind of announce it and start this series where we want to invite people into the process, you know, and get to see what it looks like even before we're there. But like during this process, like what does it actually look like for somebody that's working on being deployed as a missionary to get going?
So I think that's most of the updates and information for video 1. But at the end of every video, we'd like to teach you guys a Welsh word, and I'm a rookie. He's not. He's been studying it for like 3 years.
Yes.
Maybe longer.
Yeah.
You tell me out of breath. Got my weighted vest on. So our word for today is haraith.
Hiraeth, yeah, which it's a word that you can't translate into English, but it means a deep longing for home, like a homesickness, but specifically attached to Wales, and so, you know, to Cymru. So we picked this word on purpose because that's what we're feeling. Like we're
Yes.
we're
When
feeling
we
this.
came home from our trip, I think every 20 minutes we were like, we sure miss it there. We sure
Yes.
long to be back. And so
Yeah.
that word definitely captivates how we feel
Yes.
about that area.
So thank you for watching like our first Coming to Cymru video.
Yes.
You know, we just ask that you just keep us in your prayers, and like the word Cymru means, you know, friend or compatriot. We ask, you know, if you feel in your heart to be a friend of Cymru, whether that's through prayer, financial means, whatever that means, even telling people about the place, to do it. So, but thank you guys for watching.
Oh, sorry.
For hearing us.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.